In this video tutorial, I am going to design piston head of engine project. So this is the 3D view of the engine project, and there is three other files for the dimension of that engine, the piston project. So as you see, this is the profile of the engine project which we are going to extrude around this axis, the y-axis. This is the piston head dimensions for the engine project. This is just one component of the engine project, the piston head. So we are going to design first piston head, and then as you see in the 3D view, we needed to extrude these two walls. So these are the dimension of that extruded wall which we are going to extrude it. These are the sketches, and then there is a hole here. This is the dimension of that hole. So as you see here, this is the dimension of the piston head. So few units are in millimeters, so units are in millimeter. We are going to go to create, select this front plane, and then just draw a reference line. So this is a vertical line which we are going to convert it a reference line. So select this line and then click on extrude construction. So this line will be converted to a construction line, a reference line. Then go to line and just draw profile. I'm going to add the dimension like that. So we just added this, just draw this sketch. We did not add it any dimension. Now I'm going to add dimension. So this dimension is 5 millimeter, and dimension from this line to this line between them is also 5 millimeter, and from this point to this reference line this dimension is 19, and from this point to this line this dimension is 20. So as you see, this will happen with our sketch as we are adding the dimension after drawing the profile. Now I needed to add another dimension, horizontal vertical dimension. Basically I wanted this point and this point facing each other to have a horizontal relation. So that's the way our sketch will be done. I'm just going to move this dimension and then zoom it. So finish the sketch, go to isometric view and then click on revolve. I want to revolve this profile, and then for axis I am going to select this axis, and as you see this design is done. And as you see there is two cuts also revolving around that piston head. So we needed to add two more circle here and then trim this circle. So I am going to go to isometric view and then go to sketch, right click and go to edit sketch mode, because we forget to add these cuts. So draw a circle here and draw a circle here. For dimension, this dimension is 3, and dimension for this circle, the diameter is also 3. Then from this line to this point, the dimension between them is 6, and then dimension from this point to this point, the center point of these two circles, the dimension between them is also 6. Then go to trim, and I don't need it that portion and that portion, and I also don't need it that portion and that portion. Now as you see from the sketch, the profile is similar to it, and then just click on finish the sketch. So we already added this revolve command. So that's the way if you want to edit any sketch. So this is done. Now just rotate this model to see this bottom of that cylinder, this button, not this side. We needed to select this button. So you can rotate it if you are like in the isometric view. You can rotate it, go here on cube view and then press it and hold, and that way you can rotate. The other way to rotate is that you can go to orbit and left mouse button click and hold it, and you can like move your mouse, it will be rotating. So after that I'm going to open the sketching, and for this create sketch for the plane I'm going to selecting this bottom of that, and then just draw two rectangle. And now let's look the dimensions. So from this origin to this is 4, and the dimension of this rectangle is 3, the width is 3, and the height is 10, and the distance between these two rectangle is 4. So I'm going to select sketch dimension. This dimension is 3 and this dimension is 5, sorry 10, this is 10, and dimension between them is 4, this is 4, and dimension from this line to this origin is given as 4. Now I needed to add some collinear dimensions. So this line is facing this line and this line is facing this line, and then I needed to make these two rectangles equal. So for this and this, these are equal, and this line and this line is equal. And as you see, this rectangle is like this is the origin and this is the center point of that rectangle. So from this point, from this origin to this line, this dimension is 5, as the total dimension of this rectangle is 10. So from origin to the top line we are going to add a dimension of 5 millimeters. So select line, select this line, top line, and select this point, and this dimension is 10 divided by 2 because we want to make it in the middle, like that. This is done, and then go to isometric view, go to revolve, and again just rotate the model to see the sketch. So for the profile I'm going to select this rectangle and this rectangle, and make sure you select these two rectangles and start profile direction one-sided and extend distance, and it asking how much distance you want to make the extrude. So for the extrusion we needed it from this point, this line, to here, to this line. So total dimension of this line is 20 minus 5 is 15. So I am going to type here 15 and press enter. Now as you see, this component is added. Then to make a cut from this feature from here to the other side of that rectangle, so go to create, and now for the sketch plane I am going to select this face of that, and it will be like that. Now select a circle, the diameter of the circle is 5, and from this point to this origin it's given 5, and now we needed to make this line facing this origin. So we are going to add a vertical relation between them. I am going to select this point and this point, and it will make them on a vertical line, and finish the sketch. Go to isometric view, and as you see, this profile is added. So go to extrude and rotate the model to see the sketch and select the profile. And now as you know, we needed to make a cut from this side to this side, so we can make like that. Just make sure the cut is not touching this wall, this cylinder. So we can like select it randomly by just moving that control panel, or we can also do that from here. Go here, distance, and select two object. So to select two object, we basically needed to select a object or a surface or a plane where we want to make the cut. Like the cut will be start from the profile, from the plane of the sketch to the surface which we going to select for the object. So for the object I am going to select this surface, so it will make a cut from this the plane of that sketch to this surface. and make sure the operation is cut. We don't want to make the joint. We are basically going to cut the material and click OK. As you see, the cut is done. So now this model is completed, the first component of engine project, which is piston head.